everyone, so today I am going to be filming a video that I've wanted to film for so long. It's been on my list I think since about September, and it was penciled in always for this weekend that I was going to do my Christmas drugstore makeup tutorial. So before we get started, please ignore my hair. It's really gross. I had a shoot yesterday and I've just not been able to get it to do anything other than be curly at the moment, which it's just a big mess of curls. It's not even nice curls, so yeah, this is my hair today. Also, another thing, apologies if I sound a bit snotty today. I'm not actually feeling too great, so we're just going to roll with the fact that sometimes you might not be able to understand what I'm saying. But anyway, I'm going to get started with the L'Oreal True Match foundation. I really like this foundation. I have the shade R2C2, which does remind me a little bit of Star Wars, and I do love it because of that. So I'm just taking a couple of pumps of that on the back of my hand, and then I'm just going to dot it on my face. Oh, and I'm also using the Zoeva 102 Silk Finish brush. This is one of the rose gold ones, which are gorgeous. Next up I'm going to use concealer, and I'm going to be using the Collection Illuminating Touch concealer, and this is one of my favourite drugstore concealers. So I'm just dotting that around this area here, and I'm going to go down a little bit and kind of do a little bit of Kim Kardashian highlighting kind of stuff. And then I'm going to take my Real Techniques buffing brush and just kind of stipple that in. I love this brush, it's so soft. So soft. So next I'm going to be moving on to bronzer, and I'm going to be using the Bourjois chocolate bronzer and a Real Techniques multitasking brush. And this one is quite a good one for bronzing because it can fit kind of all over your cheekbone and be swirled all over, or it can fit kind of like under the cheekbone and be used for contour, which is kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the kind of like 3 shape down the side of my face. I'm going to start on this side because I like this side of my face better. And I love this bronzer because it's not too shimmery, and I find it really difficult to find a decent matte bronzer in the drugstore, but I quite like this one. It's got a little bit of shimmer, but it hardly actually shows up on my skin, which I love. And next I'm going to move on to eyes, and I'm going to be using a palette that I've never used in a makeup tutorial before, and I've had it since last year and decided that I wanted to use it in my next Christmas drugstore makeup tutorial, so I've been holding out for a really long time. And this is the Rimmel eyeshadow palette in 022 Brixton Brown, and it is just stunning. There's so many different colours in here and they're just beautiful. And for the lip colour that I'm going for, this is kind of like the perfect eyeshadow set to accompany it. So I'm going to get started with the lightest shade, and I'm just going to blend that all over my lid, and I'm going to use a Zoeva brush. I'm going to be using their 227 Soft Definer brush, and I love these brushes. I like them more than the MAC ones because they are just so much softer. The bristles are just so much like more kind to your eyelid. It's just, yeah, they're lovely. I'm just going to be taking that all over the eyelid, and it just gives a really beautiful kind of like vanilla type sheen to your eyelid. So I just popped that all over the eyelid, and I didn't go too heavy because I am quite olive in my skin tone, and I think that going too heavy on that just makes your eyelids look very stark and white, and it's not a great look. Now I'm going to move on to the crease of my eyeshadow. I'm going to go back to that one, and I am going to use, I think I'm going to use this kind of purpley shade in the corner here, just ever so lightly. I'm going to use a different brush that's had a darker colour on it. I tend to have 2 different blending brushes, and one I use for lighter colours and one I use for darker colours, because it means I don't have to wash them as much, which I know is really gross, but I'm just really lightly taking that through my crease. So I've just put the tiniest amount on there, and then I'm blending that out. And even then it's still gone a little bit heavier than I'd like, so I'm just going to blend that out with a MAC 224 brush. So that's really gradual now. And now I'm going to do the other eye. So that is eyeshadow done. I'm keeping it very simple because we're going to go for a really bold lip later on, and I'm probably going to go quite heavy on the brows today as well, so I thought I'd keep the eyes kind of a bit more minimal in terms of eyeshadow. But what you could also do if you were feeling super festive is to add some form of a highlight, like a really glittery highlight over the top of your eyeshadow just to give it some extra sparkle. If you don't like sparkle, you don't have to. I just thought I'd mention this because it is something that I would definitely do. So you could use something like the Topshop highlighter in the shade Glow, and they also have a moon shade as well, which I think would be even better because I think it's slightly more sparkly. So I would definitely recommend doing something like that if you're really into the glitter. I have another glittery eyeshadow which is beautiful, and I'm just going to pop that over the top. It's not a drugstore one, so I'm not going to mention it, but Barry M do some amazing kind of shimmery glitters that are very similar to this. So if anyone is wondering what this one item is that's not drugstore, it's from my Charlotte Tilbury palette. So, you know, I'm going the complete other end of the scale with this one bit, but I just didn't have the time to run out and buy a glitter sauce. Now my eyelids look suitably sparkly, I'm going to go in with a little bit of liquid liner. I'm going to be using the Collection Fast Stroke liquid liner as always. I'm just going to do a very small line. I'm not going to go in heavy like I normally do. I'm just going to do a very small one because I'm going to be putting on some false lashes, and I kind of need a nice base to work with on that one. So that is my liner done. I went a little bit thicker than I would have liked ideally, but you know, these things happen. I probably should have used a slightly thinner liner, like the L'Oreal Super Liner is incredibly fine and it's beautiful. So whilst I wait for my liner to dry, I'm actually going to just do my brows very quickly. I'm going to be using the Soap & Glory Archery pencils in the shade Blondeshell and Hot Chocolate. I've got both of them and I'm going to use a mixture today. I'm going to get started with Hot Chocolate and pray that I don't do this time what I did last time and make myself look like the evil baby out of The Simpsons, because I tend to go overboard a little bit with my brows when it comes to pencil filling in. I'm going to get started with Hot Chocolate and pray that I don't do this time what I did last time and make myself look like the evil baby out of The Simpsons, because I tend to go overboard a little bit with my brows when it comes to pencil filling in. So I want them to be quite sharp and defined today, so I'm just very lightly filling in all around. So I do the underneath and the top like this. It already looks mental in my viewfinder and this is terrifying. So I really try to emphasise the arch and then bring out the front, because I have no front to my brows. They just go so gradually into nothing that it looks like my eyebrow kind of stops around here, and there's still like brows here, they're just really light. So that is kind of the arch done, and I'm going to use Blondeshell to fill in the kind of inner part, I don't know what you call it, the inner end of the brow, but what I'm going to do is just trace along here where I want my brow to be and just blend that so that when I come back later I can just see where I want my brow to follow on from. And now finally it's time for the other brow. I'm going to be here for about a year, so I'm probably going to speed this up. I hope you enjoy the little doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. So I'm just going in with Blondeshell now, and I'm going to fill in the inner side of the brow. So that is brows done in terms of penciling. Now I'm just going to take the Revlon Brow Fantasy and just use the gel bit to set them. Just because my eyebrows get really long and wild and look so much better when they are in place. So those are my big bushy brows completely done. Now I'm going to go back to my eyes and I'm going to put on a little bit of the Maxfactor False Lash Effect Mascara. I'm going to do false lashes, so I'm not going to do too much to them, but I just want them to be quite black and to blend in really nicely with the lashes. Now it's time for lashes, and I'm going to be using the Tanya Burr individual lashes, and I love these. I think they are amazing. It's not just because she's my friend, I genuinely do think these lashes are awesome. And I'm going to be using the medium and long ones and very few short ones, maybe just as a transition in between the longer ones. But I never get to go all out and use the long ones, so today is my day. I get to do this, I'm so excited. To apply individual eyelashes, I just take my tweezers and then I get the eyelash in between the tweezer and then I apply the glue. From there I give it a quick blow to try and dry it really quickly, and even while it's still wet I still pop it on because I quite like the fact that you can move it around a little bit when it's not too tacky and it doesn't ruin your eyeliner, especially if you're going for a bigger, more kind of like fancy eyeliner, you don't want to have to ruin it. So then I just pop it on my eyelid as close as I can to the lash line and just give it a little pat in with my finger or the end of the tweezer and pray for the best. And then what I'm going to do to round the eyes off is just to use a bit of my L'Oreal Super Liner Gel Matic, which is just my favourite eyeliner that I use kind of to tight line and in my waterline. So I'm going to go in and make it a little bit darker and a little bit smokier. So that is the eyes all done and dusted, and next I move on to the lips, which is by far my favourite part of this makeup tutorial. I've got two Topshop items. One is a lip liner, which may or may not have been discontinued, but I'm sure there is one identical to it that has been re-released. It is their lip liner in Deception, and then I've got their matte lip bullet in Get Me Bodied, which I've got the mini one at the moment, but they do a full size, which I also have because I knew that I loved this enough that I would have to repurchase this. And this is a gorgeous colour. I would definitely swing by Topshop and pick it up if you have the time before Christmas or even before New Year. I think this is a lovely kind of party colour, and because it's matte it stays on for so long. So I'm just going to start by lining my lips. Okay, so that is lip liner done, and now I'm going to move on to my favourite bit, which is the matte lip bullet in Get Me Bodied. I really love this makeup look. Let me know what you think in the comments below and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I hope you're all looking forward to Christmas. If you do this makeup look, then post a little photo of it and tweet me so that I can see, because I would love to see you guys recreate this look. But aside from that, I hope you're all having a lovely weekend, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another instalment of Vlogmas.